China and North Korea have reportedly intercepted many U.S. ships in the South China Sea, according to recent reports. Since there have been rising tensions in this area for some time, the most recent event has just fueled the fire. We will examine the situation in more detail and attempt to comprehend the effects of these decisions in this essay. A fiercely contentious region that has been the focus of numerous disputes between various countries is the South China Sea. The territory, which is rich in resources like oil and gas, is virtually entirely claimed by China. Other countries with claims to the region include Vietnam, the Philippines, and Malaysia. China and North Korea reportedly stopped 2 U.S. military warships sailing in the South China Sea. The U.S. has been an active participant in the disputes, supporting the claims of its allies and conducting freedom of navigation operations in the region. The U.S. Navy acknowledged the event, stating that the U.S. Curtis Wilbur and the U.S. John S. McCain were engaged by Chinese and North Korean Navy warships while they were conducting operations in international waters. The U.S. Navy alleged that the exchanges breached international regulations protecting the freedom of navigation and were unsafe and unprofessional. While claiming that the U.S. ships had trespassed into its territorial seas, the Chinese authorities denied any wrongdoing. This event occurs at a time when tensions between China and the U.S. are already very high, according to Zhao Lijun, a spokesperson for China's foreign ministry. The U.S. side is actively stirring up issues and trying to drive a wedge into regional peace and stability, Zhao said. The U.S. has criticized China's response to the COVID-19 outbreak, and there has been a trade war between the two nations. The U.S. has also made it clear that it is in favor of Taiwan, which China sees as a part of its own country. Aside from that, the U.S. has aggressively protested China's freedom of navigation operations in the South China Sea. China and North Korea's capture of the U.S. ships can be interpreted as a show of force and a warning to the U.S. that they will not put up with any involvement in the South China Sea. China has accelerated the modernization of its armed forces and boosted its naval presence in the region. In the disputed waters, it has also been building military installations and artificial islands, which has alarmed the U.S. and its allies. It is also important to note that North Korea was involved in this tragedy. Due to its nuclear weapons program, the nation has been subject to international sanctions, and its economy has been in trouble. This gesture can be considered as an attempt by North Korea to win over its neighbor China, with whom it has been working to strengthen relations. This incident has important ramifications. It might intensify existing tensions between the U.S. and China and raise the possibility of a military conflict. Additionally, it highlights China's escalating military aggression and its determination to establish its domination in the region. The U.S. Navy's ability to conduct unrestricted operations in the South China Sea is also called into question by the interception of the U.S. ships. To refute China's accusations and show its dedication to the freedom of the seas, the U.S. has been undertaking freedom of navigation operations in the region. The effectiveness of these operations, however, could be hampered, and the U.S.'s capacity to project military power in the region could be constrained if China and North Korea continue to intercept U.S. ships. The relationship between the U.S. and its allies in the region may also be impacted by this occurrence. The U.S. has participated in combined military drills with its allies and has supported their claims in the South China Sea. Nevertheless, if the U.S. is restricted from operating freely in the region, it may cause its allies to lose faith in its capacity to defend them. The episode also emphasizes the necessity of diplomacy and communication in resolving conflicts in the area. While supporting its partners in the area, the U.S. has criticized China's actions in the South China Sea. To find a peaceful solution to the conflicts, it is crucial to engage in constructive communication with China. Both the U.S. and China are superpowers with substantial regional influence. Thus, it is in both nations' best interests to cooperate towards a stable and peaceful outcome. To offset China's assertiveness in the region, the U.S. and its allies may possibly take economic action in addition to diplomatic ones. The U.S. and China are currently embroiled in a trade battle, and it may explore additional limitations or sanctions against Chinese firms that are building artificial islands and military installations in the South China Sea. To counter China's influence, the U.S. and its allies may also think about making investments in the region's infrastructure and resource development. Due to its importance as a primary shipping route for products moving between Asia, Europe, and the Middle East, the South China Sea is a crucial area for international trade. It is also abundant in natural resources, including as mineral resources, fisheries, and oil and gas reserves. As a result, the region is crucial from a strategic perspective for both China and the U.S. and its allies. The U.S. and its allies have been concerned about China's assertiveness in the South China Sea for a number of years. Concerns regarding China's intentions and commitment to freedom of navigation have been raised as a result of the construction of artificial islands and military facilities in the region. In response, the U.S. and its allies have increased their naval patrols and training drills in the region and urged China to abide by international law. The tensions in the region have significantly increased as a result of China and North Korea intercepting U.S. ships. Although the reasons for the interception remain unknown, it is possible that China wanted to let the U.S. and its allies know that it is willing to challenge their military presence in the region. It might also have been an effort to impose its control over the area and show off its military prowess. The episode serves as a reminder of how complicated China and North Korea's relationship is. China has traditionally had a tight relationship with North Korea, but there has recently been tension in that alliance. In response to North Korea's nuclear program, China has supported UN sanctions against it, which has strained relations between the two nations. The fact that both China and North Korea intercepted U.S. ships indicates that the two nations' relations are still tense. The U.S. and its allies must coordinate their responses in light of China and North Korea's interception of U.S. ships. To offset China's assertiveness, the U.S. has been striving to forge a coalition of partners in the area, but more has to be done. In order to maintain the right of free navigation in the South China Sea and to rein in China's aggression, the U.S. and its allies must cooperate. The U.S. and its partners may think about diplomatic and economic measures to curb China's assertiveness in the region in addition to naval patrols and drills. Finding a peaceful settlement to the South China Sea issues will need diplomacy. To find a solution that is agreeable to all sides, the U.S. and its allies must have a constructive engagement with China. Economic policies could potentially be successful in reducing China's influence in the area. To offset China's Belt and Road Initiative, the U.S. and its allies may think about making investments in the region's infrastructure and resource development. This would offer a counterbalance to China's economic influence and assist in reducing the reliance of countries in the region on China. To prevent any potential misunderstandings or errors in judgment, the U.S. and its allies must likewise endeavor to increase trust and confidence with China. More military-to-military contact and exchanges, as well as confidence-boosting measures, including the adoption of a code of conduct for the South China Sea, can help achieve this. In conclusion, the interception of U.S. ships in the South China Sea by China and North Korea is a worrying move that underlines the region's rising geopolitical tensions and complexity. To ensure the region's freedom of navigation and to confront China's aggression, the U.S. and its partners must continue to be on guard and coordinate their efforts. This calls for a more sophisticated strategy that strikes a balance between worries about China's behavior and the need for stable and peaceful relations with China. The use of economic policies, military cooperation, and diplomacy are all effective means of achieving this objective. Ultimately, for the South China Sea to have a stable and peaceful future, it will take a long-term commitment from all parties concerned. Thanks so much for watching till the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and turn the notification bell on so you never miss a video. Until next time, see you later.